You're looking at a young, he was 18 when this happened,
Yeah.
18, 19. A young kid that had the world at his feet.
This won't be a what is he thinking, but it'll be a what are they thinking. So Callum, Manchester United, what are they thinking? Sending Greenwood to Getafe rather than cancelling his contract.
Well, it's obvious, isn't it? They're keeping tabs on him. They're testing the waters. He's arguably 100 million pound asset to the club. You know, they didn't cost him a thing. Arguably as well, he was one of the best young players in the world when he broke out in his first season. He scored like, what was it, nearly 18 goals or something?
I can't remember the numbers, but he was absolutely killing it. For
Left
sure.
foot, right foot, very Van Persie-esque. Like the guy was mustard, and he was becoming my favorite player. You know, it is a horrible subject to talk about because you know we've all heard the audio, we've all seen the pictures. There's no excusing that.
If you haven't heard the Greenwood audio, just Google
It's
Greenwood domestic violence audio,
so
and you'll know what we're talking about.
yeah. I don't want to talk about if if he's innocent or he's not. I think we can all make our own minds up there after looking at the audio, listening to the audio and seeing the pictures. But the charge, we all know the charge has got dropped. So that doesn't technically mean he's not guilty. It just means that there were witnesses to put the charges upon the stand. So United have seen their £100 million asset and thought, if they bought the club into distribute, let's just cancel his contract, get rid of him. We don't want the bad PR. However, they've not done that. They've loaned him out because he's got 2 years left on his contract. And they're thinking, let's just test the waters. Let's see how he gets on. And I can guarantee you, if he has an absolute worldie of a season, that United will probably try and maneuver him back to United in a very safe PR way with the sponsorships, and because they're the ones who get itchy feet. So they're just probably just trying to test the waters to see what the backlash would be. But this is all based on if he has a cracker of a season. I mean, if he's not looking great, it's just easier to get rid of him after that.
Where do you think it'll go? Do you think even if he does super well, do you think they'll just not risk anything whatsoever in terms of just selling him?
No, I think. Well, no, that's a really good question actually.
Yeah.
No, I think they'll really think hard on bringing him back.
I'll reword my question. Like, do you think they're just trying to bring his value back up and get rid of him and just be like, we're Manchester United, we don't want to deal with this?
I know, yeah. No, I think it's a great question. I think it's both. So that's exactly what they're trying to do. First and foremost,
give themselves options.
Give themselves options. They're of course trying to get his value back up. I want to say time heals all wounds because it's obviously a horrible thing he's done. But if he has a world of a season, his value goes up. They can either sell him or they can think, hey, we can bring him back to United. Don't know how they would do that because what the English press is like. You know what the English fans are like.
Right. It's going to be a bloodbath if they try to do that.
Yeah, it might be. It depends how good the PR is.
Well, what do you? I know you obviously liked him before all this kind of stuff happened. Yeah, and he's obviously putting everything aside. He was obviously one of the best young players in the world.
Yeah.
Let's just say he has a cracker of a season, value goes up. Do you want United to keep him, or do you want United to sell him?
I've got to stand by my morals. I think it's best that it's hard, really.
Yeah,
I think it's best that he can't play for United again.
Yeah,
he just can't.
Well, that's what I was listening because I'd heard somebody ask a similar question, and people were asking if Greenwood scores for United, are you going to cheer? And the person said, "Well, I'll cheer obviously because United scored a goal."
Yeah.
Am I cheering Mason Greenwood? No, I'm just happy we've scored a goal. And it's similar, like, if you listen to Michael Jackson now, it's very similar. Like, the accusations were never proved or anything. Are you supporting Michael Jackson because of...
You got to take the man away from the artist.
Exactly. So it's a little bit of a similar argument.
It's a really difficult conversation to have, and there's so many layers to it as well, because if you do something really bad when you're a young man, are you not allowed another chance at redemption? Does that mean you've got to be completely cancelled and written off for the rest of your life? That's going to have to follow him. He's come out and said he's working on things, that he didn't always behave in the right way, but he's still denying the allegations as a whole.
And he's still with his partner.
They've had a kid now. So it's difficult because the thing is, we've all heard the audio,
Yeah.
and that's what's really going against him. So to answer your question, I don't think he should play for United again.
Yeah.
And it hurts to say that because you're looking at a young, he was 18 when this happened,
Yeah.
18, 19, a young kid that had the world at his feet,
For sure.
the world at his feet, and he's just fucked it up for himself,
Hmm.
being a stupid little boy. And, maybe, fight, he's not going to be the same man he was. Oh, no, it's difficult.
I mean, we can do a whole podcast
You really
episode on
could,
this.
yeah.
Well,
It's,
mate,
it's definitely
maybe I
pretty
should
deep.
be asking the Getafe board, what are you thinking? Like,
Yeah.
why would they? I just don't understand why they would bring, unless they've like, I don't know, they don't speak English and they can't listen to the audio
Where are
file.
they sitting in the league? Like, what?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean the
I haven't.
season just started, so it's
Yeah,
not like
it's
they
a
were
few
in a
games.
relegation battle
Yeah, they're
yet.
a few games in, but
Right, I mean, like last year, like,
I can't remember, to be honest.
yeah.
I mean, good. Like, aside from everything that's happened, good for him for finding a place that will allow him to play football again.
But that's what we need to do is focus on his football, and just kind of work on himself.
Yeah, despite what happened, you do want him to just objectively become a better person.
Yeah, of
So if
course.
that's what he's on track to
Yeah,
doing,
yeah.
fair
There is
enough.
a redemption story there, if yeah.
Obviously, my views on it, like that's the most scum thing you can ever do.
Mm.
Are people redeemable? Of course they are, right? We've all made mistakes. Maybe not as hectic as that, but we are all
I should hope
redeemable.
not.
Sorry.
I should hope
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
But just because obviously United being who they are, I don't like. Obviously, I don't like United or anything like that. But I don't think he should ever play for United as
No.
well. I just don't think it's good for the club,
No,
and
it's not.
it's not for what the club stands for. And
No, it's
yeah,
not.
Well, in the end, we've figured out that both decisions, the Neymar decision and the Greenwood decision, are money based. Really,
Yeah.
United want to get some
I,
return on this
I,
$100 million
I do
asset.
have a sneaky feeling though that, like I said, they are. I think first and foremost, as you said, they are trying to get his value back up. So
Yeah, I hadn't really thought about that, but yeah,
it's
they
it's a
might
really
be.
good point. Really good point.
They could maybe just sell him to Getafe and be like, "You guys like him?
Well,
Have him for
he's got
15 mil."
2 years left on his contract. Obviously, a year loan. If he has an absolute worldie, let's just say he has a worldie, then it puts him in a really good position to sell him to a bigger club that's going to take the flack or the PR, the risk with him. Um, or I've sneaky feeling. I'm thinking, how can we maneuver him back to United?
That was my initial thought. Was they'll send him there, kind of far away from England, away from the issue. See if he just comes back, plays football. See at what level he's at, first of all. But second of all, maybe people will just kind of it'll just go under the
That's what
rug and we'll forget about it and that
Yeah,
kind of thing. But
I mean, United could.
United media, if he tries to make the return, I don't think will be the issue. It's every other media in the country are going to
And the
be,
and the
fans.
fans, the fans
yeah,
won't, the
exactly,
fans
are
won't
going to
accept
be
it.
unloading
Yeah,
on him. The
Uh,
chants are going to be grotesque. Like, so I don't even know if I were him, I don't even know if I'd want to return to
Yeah.
England to play football after that
it's
because
a good
he's going to
point.
get torn
There was a
to
bunch of
shreds.
our own fans as well.
Yeah, of
No,
course.
the
Next
Man
club.
United fans will not be happy about it.
No, they
Man,
wouldn't.
he'd get torn. I've said like
Depends how he does
Kurt
though in the
Zuma.
next.
Kurt Zuma kicked a cat,
Yeah,
That's disgraceful.
and he was getting torn to shreds just for
Yeah,
kicking a cat. I
yeah,
mean, that's not good, but
of
it's
course, yeah.
a whole different level.
Yeah, but just going back to your money point, I think it's kind of sad to see. Like we obviously all know that's just the reality. It's a big business. It's just becoming bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's gotten bigger over the last 20, 30 years. But you just think about the hierarchies of old, the managers of old, the owners of old. It wouldn't even be a question. But now because players are not viewed as people or what they do, off the field, they're just viewed as assets.
assets. Yeah.
So that's kind of sad to see sometimes, in a situation like this. But I think United, based on all of their history and the morals and what they stand for and all that kind of stuff, definitely should never let them play
No,
again.
they could play it as we've got a duty of care to look after this boy. He's been with us for
Mhm.
the best part of his entire life, and we can't just leave him in the lurch. We want to put him through like the therapy, build him up, and
But then you can argue, okay, but you guys are putting him on a loan. He seems like he's trying to improve. Blah blah. Why do you need? You've done
Yeah.
your part.
Yeah, I know. I'm just
I
kind
know
of
you're talking about
trying to
both
think
sides.
how they could
Justify it.
spin that and
Yeah.
justify it to England.
And I wouldn't be surprised if that's kind of the story. If anybody comes to them and asks, that would be a very compelling
Yeah.
argument to just say, listen, he did something wrong, but we've always believed in second chances and we want him to be a better person
He's
and we're working
yeah,
towards that and
yeah,
all these
yeah. We
things.
got a duty of care to look after him.
Yeah.
You know,
No chance he plays for England though ever again.
No.
Doesn't matter how good he is. If he's
Oh,
scoring Haaland numbers, there's no
yeah, but
chance.
imagine.
50 goals a
No
season.
way.
Now, what's the number before he gets the call up? 50?
Yeah,
Southgate's just.
He's got 49. He's like, oh, come on, 50. Let's do it.
yeah, yeah.
No, I don't think that. No.
But yeah, I mean, silly boy.
Yeah.